Hello there.
Hey.
I am Patrick.
I'm Scott.
And this is...
I used to work at a bar on Franklin.
God, we are the worst. Who even listens to... Oh, yeah, nobody. That's right.
Nobody
listens. Yet. But just you wait. Before we post any content on TikTok and go viral immediately, does anyone want to admit they have a crush on me?
There could be 100 people in a room and it only takes one to listen to your podcast.
For what? Well, no, we want all of them to listen to it.
There could be 100 people in a room and probably only one
Probably only
to our
one
podcast.
of them is listening to our podcast.
Yeah.
How are you?
Never better. Went to the dentist this morning. They charged me 300 smackaroos to literally brush my teeth and take photos of them.
With your toothbrush, too. They made you bring your toothbrush
I
from
had
home.
to supply my own toothbrush. I had to do the x-rays myself. And then they're like, $300, please. They're like, money, please. And I was like,
I'm just a baby.
I was like,
I have these blocks.
I was like, I'm just a baby. I can't pay money for y'all to brush my teeth like that. And I was like, can I have insurance? But they apparently don't sell insurance right there at the dentist office.
At the dentist. It's a different business that sells the insurance. Mm-hmm. I have dental insurance. It's like $60 a month, and the cleaning is free. Free cleaning every 6 months.
How does that even make sense? You're spending $60 a month just for it to be free.
$16 a month.
Oh, yeah.
Dental insurance, $16 a month.
Could be
free cleaning every 6 months, and then also if anyone ever hits me in the mouth with a baseball bat or something,
you're safe.
They cover that.
You're secured. Yeah,
it does feel like I'm flushing $16 a month down the drain, but I do know that if something bad happened to my teeth, they all fell out, how I keep dreaming that it's gonna happen.
Right.
Like my premonition. That I'll be okay.
You should get your teeth fucked up and give a
run for your money. Yeah. Take advantage of that. I was thinking about that. Yeah, that's a terrible way to start your day. Do your teeth feel good?
No, not even. The woman.
You know how I feel about dentistry. It's a fucking
don't get me started on big dental
pseudoscience.
I literally think the whole time in my head this is bullshit. They're straight up just brushing my teeth.
Oomph went to the same amount of school for her cosmetology license.
And that's the tea, because this bitch literally goes, I'm a temp, so I'm still figuring things out. And I could tell she was cleaning her teeth. She didn't even brush half my teeth. She's kind of squirted that little water thing in there. I went I coughed it up a little, and she's like, oh, sorry.
Did I hit the dangly thing in the back of your throat?
And then she was like, money, please. And I was like,
do you even work here, lady?
So I paid $300 for the dentist. Ariana's album is out, so I can't be too mad. And
we were so worried. Also, I don't know if you guys at home can hear the literal helicopter and sirens.
Let's get into that real quick.
Yeah,
it's Oscars week. The Oscars are on Sunday. I don't know. I don't think y'all understand
the absolute hell that living where we live.
Yeah, that our neighborhood is fucking under attack.
It literally feels like.
Delete that out. Because they where is it taking place? Where's the Oscars
It's taking place a mere 2 blocks from here.
What theater?
Dolby.
The Dolby Theater. We literally live 2 blocks away. They have the entire boulevard shut down.
We are in the butt crack of Hollywood.
Yeah, the literal ass crack.
And they shut down the boulevard 2 weeks prior.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. And they also, this is one way I was personally victimized last night. I was driving Annika's car home. Shout out, friend of the pod. And was looking for parking in my preferential parking district where I live, the street. You have to have a permit to be able to park there. And these fuck ass Oscars are taking up literally there's 60 spots that they just have with tow away signs. For what?
Yeah.
Why they need it right now? I don't know, because there's no cars there. It just says if you park here, you'll get towed. So because of that, there's 60 people who would have been able to park there who just have to park on my street or everywhere else around it. It's fucking nightmare. Also, when the actual Oscars start, if you live on my street,
don't even dare.
You have to
step out.
Yeah, you can't leave the street. You won't be allowed back to your home because I've had to show my ID with my address on it to like even walk on my street before.
During they have the Oscars posted up. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to an Oscars watch party, and I fear when I come back they're going to be like,
"Where are you? Where's
identification,
that?
sir."
Yeah, they will.
Literally going to be like, we're under martial law or something. That's what this feels like. I hope you guys understand. Like,
there's been a helicopter circling all day.
Yeah.
And also I forgot to tell you about this.
What?
This morning I went to our local breakfast spot, and not 30 feet away, Eugene Levy was getting his star on the Walk of Fame.
Oh my God! Wait, good for him.
I know. It's about time.
I thought you were gonna say he was ordering a little latte.
No,
but alas, he was getting a star on the Walk of Fame.
We had to be police escorted to the business because the business is still open. Obviously, they can't it's fucked up for them to have to shut down restaurants. And so these cops are like, "Where are you guys headed?" And I was like, "We're just going to this restaurant." He was like, "Straight to the business, please." And
so I was like, between random actors getting their stars on the Walk of Fame and the Oscars happening, it's literally been torture living.
Yeah, our lives are so difficult.
Glamorous Hollywood.
This is the worst time of year. Like the Oscars
literally,
is just like an actual nightmare. There's no parking.
Yeah, this happened last year, and then everyone has to take the same street when I'm trying to get to work because like there's only one way to go.
Yeah,
on Franklin.
Yes, and right now on Sycamore, it's like to turn right on Franklin. You know, at the end of the line goes all the way south, like to Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah. There's just hella people. There's nowhere to go. It takes 45 minutes to go 5 miles.
And it's personally worse for us than anyone else.
So it's going to be hard to watch the Oscars. I'm going to be like, okay, yeah, this bitch won, but at what cost?
Right.
Me not being able to get to places. And
I'm glad Lily Gladstone's going to be the first Indigenous woman to win an Oscar, but like, what about me? What about what
I literally can't even step onto the streets.
What white male needs?
What about what this little twink wants, which is to walk to the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf without being accosted by security guards?
Yeah, it's literally more like the president has been in a city that I lived in before, and this is more security than that.
Like right, not even Biden causes this much commotion.
In 2010, Obama was like visiting my hometown, and like it was less of a big deal than the Oscars.
And that was like the year when he was in his bag too.
Oh yeah, he was cooking. That was when he wore the tan suit to the suit that he should have worn a gray suit.
I remember.
Yeah, that was a huge.
He was cooking some bombs over the Middle East.
Some drone strikes.
Some.
Only a couple though. But yeah, so that's if you hear. Commotion,
sirens and helicopters and people dying
and coming in the background.
Yeah,
it's
pooping
mostly. Yeah,
it's because of the Oscars.
And Eugene Levy. Also, who pulls up to cover the event but fucking Melanie, who is someone who comes to the bar we used to work at, who works for fucking TMZ.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah. And who is a literal paparazzi, but when I called her that, she said, I'm a journalist.
Oh, right.
We're journalists too.
I can play that game.
We're journalists, and this is where you should come for your breaking news, such as Ariana Grande #1 on iTunes right now.
And Queer as Folk #1 in the Scott Hall residence. Yeah, we're a little PNP. She's paparazzi. We're podcasters.
Yeah.
But we like to pretend we're Jays.
Yeah, we both fancy ourselves Jays, but
PNPs who fancy themselves Jays. All along, we're just really some G's.
That's terrible. I hate that.
Sorry. Yeah, I've just been streaming Ariana's new album since 9 p.m. last night.
Which is when it dropped.
And watching Queer as Folk since 2000.
Which dropped in 2000.
And yeah, the show's getting really crazy. I feel we have to insert the clip right here.
Oh yeah, we can do that.
So let me just play it.
Yeah, we'll play it and I'll sync it up. It'll be 1:13.
Touring dates, possible recording contract. I can't be wasting my time thinking about you. Wishing that you were here. Hoping that tonight is going to be the night that you finally stay. I want to stay. Well, you can't. You can't. So just go back to your boyfriend. Ethan.
Oh, it just keeps going.
Wait,
it just
so
keeps going.
When does he leave?
I cut it off because the video literally is longer, but then he still leaves, but then he stands in the doorway for like another 30 seconds.
And that's the
just
music
like
that's
looking
playing.
around dramatically, and the violin just keeps going.
What possessed them to... Okay, so first of all, it's clearly overdubbed. That actor is not playing that live.
Right.
And what possessed them to pick that fucking song?
I don't know.
Like, it is so... Like... That's like almost like how I would sound if I picked up a violin. I've never
It's
played.
insane, and he's supposed to be like really good.
Like a
Literally, he's like
concert
an undiscovered
violinist.
prodigy, yeah. And he actually ends up leaving the show. Spoiler, I guess.
Spoiler from this 25-year-old show.
Leaving the show because he has to sign a record deal, but he has to pretend he's straight if he signs a record deal, and he goes through with it. So now Justin is back with Brian. And I want to die because I hate when they're together because Justin groomed him.
Wait, is those the two that have that weird relationship?
Brian's 31 at this point, and Justin is 19 now. But they got together when Justin was 17 and Brian was 29.
And people are literally calling him a pedophile, and
there'll be a whole random episode where he gets accused of being a pedophile, and everyone's like, how could someone say this? That's crazy. And I'm like, oh, I think we're getting close to like some sense here. But then everyone's like, they solve the problem by the end of the episode. The problem being
that he's literally grooming a 17-year-old.
Yeah. And so now they're back together, and I'm pissed off because Justin is a sweet baby angel who deserves the entire world. And Brian has him codependent as fuck on him.
Yeah, and they're back now.
Yeah, so they're back together. The violinist has left and signed the deal, and I guess he's just going to be very famous now. They were talking about tour dates.
That's the kind of Faustian bargain I'm trying to...
Exactly. That's what we were talking about last week.
Yeah, like you just have to pretend to be straight, and all your dreams can come true. I'm looking for this. There's a joke that I want to give credit to the comedian who
R. Kelly is.
Who made it. Oh my God.
R. Kelly is not a pedophile technically.
Yeah.
Speaking.
The joke is, I wish I could find out who the comedian is.
He's that other word that ends in philia, but it's
no. The joke is like you're like R. Kelly technically is not a pedophile. He's a hebephile, which means
the difference between like a literal child and a teenager.
A pedophile is like ages like prepubescent, and then hebephile is like 13 to 16, and then an ehebephile is 17 or like 16 or 17, like right before they're legal.
Okay.
And nobody seems to know the difference. And the reason nobody knows the difference is because if you explain that to them, you sound like a fucking pedophile.
No, you sound like an ehebephile.
Yeah. So technically, that the 31-year-old from Queer as Folk is an ehebephile.
A hebephile, yeah. Brian, the ehebephile.
The ehebephile.
Imagine if, I wouldn't put it past Queer as Folk to have an episode where they're like, he's like, I'm in the news and they're calling me a ehebephile.
And then he looks right at the camera and goes,
and he's like,
I have a musical theater reference for that. Guys, you need to watch this show.
The show is insane. Right now, the plot lines are currently that two of the main characters are randomly like they got together and they just bought a house. It makes no sense and it's kind of boring. The thing is, there'll be like the shots like the clip we just showed where it's like just crazy like that and dramatic and funny as hell. But then I was talking about it to Nate, and he goes, have you got to the bombing yet? And I went, no, what the fuck bombing are you talking about? So then I was talking to...
Mind you, is from Pittsburgh where the show takes place.
Yeah, and he didn't give any other details except the word bombing. So I was talking to Jordan about it because Jordan has seen the whole show. And I was like, I'm just going to predict to you right now so I can come back and then bookmark this, see if I was right. But I think it's going to be like a post 9/11 plot line where the club gets bombed and... like at the club they always go to, and it's going to be like a terrorist plot line, and they're going to try to like tackle the 9/11 issue without it being 9/11.
Mind you, the show started airing like right before 9/11. And what season are you on?
Yeah, this is the thing is that the season...
This is several years after 9/11.
It's 2003 at this point. Okay. So that's why like maybe it's not specifically 9/11 related, but like it could be inspired by terrorism.
Yeah.
Because the war on terror was just getting
started.
It was jumping in there.
Yeah. GW was laying the groundwork for Obama to really start cooking later on.
And in between, I fear I'm going to get a crazy Queer as Folk episode where they're literally bombing.
By the way, I know we talked about Slut Pot Miami last week, but I do think it's worth mentioning that you could take any gay club scene from Queer as Folk and put any song from Slut Pot Miami over it, and it would look like it was.
Can we do that?
An edit. Yeah, we can do an edit. Oh man, there's gonna be a lot of work on this one. But because the show makes this gay club look like, I mean, God, I want to go to that.
I know, I want to go so bad. You can do anything. You can fuck in there. They got anything going on.
Yeah, they're literally like, there's this couple that has an open relationship in this show, and there's a scene where they're both just like side by side fucking two guys.
Right.
And like that's in the gay club.
Yeah, they have a back dark room where you can fuck. It's like if the Abbey...
Pretty well lit dark room.
Yeah, it's like if the Abbey in West Hollywood didn't have security officers and you were allowed to do fuck all.
Which I think might be the way it used to be.
It did used to be that way, like back when this country used to have fun.
Back when America was great again.
Gay again. So yeah, and then there's no other like crazy plot lines going on. There was a plot line where the most attractive guy that they have on the show is using steroids, and he's also HIV positive. They tackle a lot of issues all at once. So he's HIV positive, shooting up, hiding it from the main guy who's his boyfriend, Michael, and Michael like stumbles upon him shooting himself in the ass with steroids. And they have this really dramatic fight scene, and he's like, maybe just be... Michael takes, to prove a point, Michael takes a vial of his boyfriend's blood. And he's like, you're right, it'd be easier if I had HIV. And he holds it up to his... Why
does he have a vial of his blood?
I don't know. He just randomly has it, and they don't explain it. And he holds it up to his vein, and the guy's like, Michael, no, don't. And he's like, I'm just going to give myself HIV so we can be together forever and never have to worry about it again and fuck raw. And it's literally insane. And then he's relatable. Like, this is how it feels when you do steroids. And I was like, that is not the same thing at all.
How are you watching this show alone, like on your own?
I will get...
Like, do you look around the room sometimes?
Literally, yes. I will get catatonically high by myself, smoke an entire girl blunt by myself, and just post up on the couch and watch this, and literally like look around at imaginary cameras and be like, are y'all seeing this? This is literally insane. And then it cuts to the random violin scene we showed you after, where he's like, I'm going to give myself HIV.
Yeah.
It's literally the most unhinged show I've ever seen, and I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah. I
have a bombing to look forward to.
Yeah, I know. There's probably, and that's not even...
And that's probably not even the craziest part.
I know. It's so interesting to like try and put yourself in the shoes of someone like watching this live.
I can't fully describe it. It is a soap opera.
It's literally like...
I can't. It's a soap opera, but they're taking it so dead serious. Like even the actors back then were like, this is life-changing scenes that we're doing. And it's camp now.
Imagine getting the script, like finding out like what kind of...
Yeah.
Because when they signed on for the show, they were just like, hell yes, this is a show with gay representation, a drama about a group of gay friends. This is filling a necessary role in the industry. Like people need to see this. And then they're like reading about the fucking violin scene. Or like the guy who goes to like the sugar daddy's house and like thinks the butler is like, it's just so...
That sugar daddy dies, by the way.
Oh, yeah. We could have seen that coming.
Yeah, they're on a plane fucking, and he has a heart attack.
Oh.
He dies on the plane. And he leaves...
Mind you, he's the head of a pickle empire.
He's wealthy because he has a pickle empire that he runs. And anytime someone says his name, when Emmett, the main character who's dating him, is like, I'm dating...
His last name rhymes with pickle. I forget what it is.
It was like Shill. He said, I'm dating Shill. And they all go, Shill's pickles? Like, it's literally the first response from anyone when he says he's dating him. So and they go on like a trip to Europe. And on the plane there, they fuck in the bathroom. And he has a heart attack and dies inside of him. And he's like banging on the door, and he's like, it's supposed to be emotional because he's like, help, like from the inside of the little laboratory.
Just unlock it and open it. Why is he banging?
The way he was posted up, and the man was still inside him, and then dead weight now. Imagine like someone being inside of you and being dead weight, like that's a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine one of the two of those things, but not both.
So he dies, and then he leaves Emmett $10 million. So now the show is just like Emmett being like disgustingly rich.
I'm gonna like put spoiler alert at the beginning of this for the entire series.
But the show did start out in like the 4th episode of the first season. One of the main characters goes into a coma for like 4 episodes and is not really in that. So like they came out the gate like ready to fucking go. But I was like, I haven't even gotten to care about these characters yet, and one of them's in a drug overdose coma. Like they were just doing anything.
Just doing whatever they wanted
and they still are, and apparently they still will.
Yeah,
I still have 2 entire seasons left to watch.
We should like reboot this show, I feel like.
Well, they did in like 2017. They made another version, but then they started getting into the non-binary thing and the trans thing, and it was just like too confusing. Mind you, like they got bombings and HIV and all this stuff going on in the original show.
Transgender, that's too much for us to tackle.
No, the show is low-key like LGB no T.
Yeah.
No tea.
Yeah.
No tea, no shade. But they're kind of like those gays. And the way they talk about lesbians on the show is very crazy too. Like they act like they're an entirely different species that they want nothing to do with. It's just a very, very intense.
Every once in a while you'll be watching it and be like, oh, this had to have been written by a straight man. Like yes, the way that they're
literally.
Well, I can't wait till that should just be like an ongoing check in with
trust. Wow. I'll be done with season 3 by the next time we record because it's a shorter season. So,
how many seasons are there?
5.
Oh my!
The first 2 seasons had like 22, 24 episodes.
The way it should have been.
Right. The last 3 only have 14 each. So, should we talk about Ariana's album?
Yeah, I know you've just been dying to talk about it.
She tricked us bad with Yes and.
Well, and she also tricked us bad with her complete rollout being so underwhelming
and horrible. Yeah,
like
it's not that they like. I just mean that she wasn't doing promo until like 2 weeks ago.
Well, yes, and that wasn't even like the promo wasn't even good.
Mind you, it was a Zach Sang interview.
Right, that was the promo where she doesn't even talk about anything about the album. Mm-hmm. He's like, so what are the songs about? And she's like, I don't want to.
There's a part in the interview where she puts her heels back on, she'd taken them off, and he goes, dogs back in the cage. And she goes, ew, stop saying that.
No, but like genuinely uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's mad weird. And then I just saw
and then later she goes, I feel like you took an edible right before this, and then and it's hitting right now.
He asks a question, and then she just pauses and goes, all right, like, I feel like you're high right now. And then I just saw a quote from the part 2 of the interview that came out today, and he said, do you think that like real love is supernatural? And she goes, what the fuck are you talking about?
I wonder if that's a real quote or not.
I think it is real. That sounds like her. The promo was horrible, but that I feel like she did it on purpose because Oomphy and I got in my car at 8:59, chiefed a hoe, like lit up a joint, and streamed the album top to bottom, and it was literally mind-blowing.
39-minute album.
36
minute
minus album. Yes and because I skipped it.
Okay, so like
32 minutes.
Yeah, 32-minute album.
Mind
Not
you,
very long.
One song is an interlude that has no singing on it.
And there's an intro too, right?
And there's an intro with like a little bit of singing. So there's really only like 8 new songs. It's like low-key, like less than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But those songs tore, like it's crazy.
Max Martin in his bag.
Max Martin, Ilya something. Oscar something.
He just goes by Ilya, like that's his.
Oh, that's a man?
Yeah.
Sounds like a woman's name.
It's a Swedish man.
Yeah, it's very Europop. It also is very R&B, like totally, like Yes and is such an outlier. When it started playing, when we were listening through, I skipped it because like it was just so jarring. I was like, this is literally not like any other song on the album.
Well, and you know this, I feel like this happens more like, I feel like Max Martin is kind of this way, and you can see it when you like go way back on like his absolute.
I was gonna ask you if there's any like examples you remember.
Well, I just remember all of the Backstreet Boys stuff being very all over the map. Like it, you know, a whole album would come out, and granted, the industry was different back then. Like you were trying to sell CDs, you weren't trying to sell like singles. There was no streaming or whatever.
Streams, yeah.
But these albums would come out and they would not feel like like a cohesive, like there were concept albums, but a lot of Max Martin stuff, like the Britney albums and the Backstreet Boys albums would be so like songs, there would be 2 songs that were both so good and both smashed the charts that would sound completely different and have completely different sonics and completely different tones. And like he did that with this too, I feel like.
Did that happen on Oops, I Did It Again?
Yeah.
What were the songs?
I mean, let's pull up the track list. There's also whoops. No, I didn't mean
Whoops.
oh
shit. Oh my god.
Oh. Oops. Okay.
This is a song about a story about a girl named Lucky.
Is that all?
Yeah, I feel like that's very different from Oops, I Did It Again.
Yeah, without question. No, I'm telling you, like there were smash hits all throughout.
Is that a good rollout strategy? Because I don't know. I just feel like if Ariana had released one more single, this album would be making a lot of noise. If she released The Boy Is Mine as a second single, like, because it's just the complete opposite of Yes and.
Yeah, well, I think she...
In the best way.
Well, okay, so here's the deal. We are 4 hours shy of 24 hours of the album being out, so it's kind of hard to know what the narrative is yet, but we do know that it's number 1 on iTunes.
The TL is pretty unanimous that it's a masterpiece. Like, I haven't seen any really bad things about it.
So in that sense, I think that it was a good rollout strategy, and like
it's a grower, not a shower.
And these, these
much like myself.
These Britney albums and these Backstreet Boys albums, you didn't have to, like, the singles came out on the radio, but you didn't have, like, you just wanted people to buy the CD. When you do it this way with an album streaming, like, it's all available at once. Nobody's paying for it anymore, unless, like, Ariana, I guess, does have like those super dedicated fans that are gonna pay the $129 per song. I bought the CD.
Yeah. And a crew neck.
But you brought the physical.
I bought a physical CD, and I bought a physical CD of just Yes and when the single dropped. I mean, I'm a dedicated fan of Ariana.
Yeah, you are a huge Ariana fan. Like, you are definitely a top tier.
I don't love any other pop artist like I love her. Like, when I listen to Dua Lipa or like something like that, I'm like, this is really good, but I just don't care about her as a person.
So that kind of leads us to the question of like, where are we at in pop music right now? Because is Ariana like?
Well, that's the thing.
To you, she's the queen.
I feel like she's reminding us that she is the main girl, and that the industry has been kind of dry without her.
This has been, and I fear will be, a terrible year for pop music.
Yeah, well, and who's releasing? Dua Lipa, Beyonce, Taylor Swift.
Is Lana this year?
Lana claims that she's releasing a country album,
right?
Which I'll literally believe when I see. So you can't really count her in for anything.
I just think Taylor's about to drop her worst album to date.
She is, yeah.
But that is what I thought Ariana was.
I literally thought I was gonna hate this album, and I was just genuinely so scared because I was like, I don't want to hate an Ariana album, but like it surprised me so bad. But it's only because she purposefully made Yes and like extremely different from every other song on the album.
I wonder, and that's my point about Max, is I wonder if that was on purpose or if that's just like their process, because the songs, even the other songs, are very different from each other. Like, there's a full ass like disco, like Euro disco track, and then there's one that could just be straight up an ABBA song, but it's with R&B drums in it.
Yeah, but like the thing is, if Dua were to release a ballad about her ex-relationship, I literally just wouldn't give a fuck.
But Dua is also not gonna cover such a broad spectrum, because every Dua song sounds exactly the same.
She also ain't got shit going on. Like, who did she date? Antoine Hadid.
Well, why do we don't need...
I'm just saying, Ariana, like, even the Apple Music...
Who did she date? Fucking...
Dalton
some of the
Gomez.
most mid men of all time.
No, but I'm just saying, like, she has controversy. That's what I'm getting at. Is like to be a pop star is to have hella controversy around you. And even the Apple Music bio about the album says, where is it? Ari gives a lot of things on this album, but answers aren't one of them. A cunning reminder of how little transparency celebrities actually owe us, which is so real.
That is. It's also kind of shady to like, who wrote that?
Right. There's something about being a provocateur.
I got a sneeze coming.
She's still hitting those high highs, still finding release on the dance floor.
Yeah, she does. She kind of does show her full range, even over these. It's really only 8 songs, and she like.
Yeah, but she doesn't address anything specifically. But she is still talking about her ex, and everyone was saying like, if this is the music you are like releasing when you're dating SpongeBob, like keep dating him, because it's literally just that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that. I guess you're right. I guess like she always is writing about her relationships, much like Taylor.
I just keep thinking about Ariana flew like 10 or 15 fans out to Jungle Studios in New York to listen to the album.
A week before it came out.
And if I had been there, I simply don't know what I would have done. Like to hear that and have to like not tell the world, you literally have no idea what's coming. Because this album is just a big reminder that Ariana is literally like going to be a legend when I'm older, and she will probably achieve EGOT status during my lifetime.
True.
And she will literally be one of those people that like when she dies, when I'm old, like all the kids are gonna be like, do you remember the first celeb that died that gagged you? Because when I was a kid, it was Whitney Houston. I was really young, and I remember my mom.
Michael Jackson.
Him too. I remember him dying, but I remember my mom being like, Whitney Houston died, and I was too young to know who she was, and I was like, who is that? And that was the first one I was just like, oh, everyone's like really gagged over this.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's gonna be Ariana for like
the first one that really gagged me, like, and I was older, but it's because I was, I guess, old enough to like know what was that?
Got straight matcha, I don't know.
Was I remember when Heath Ledger died, and I was just like I couldn't believe that.
Yeah. Sophie's death gagged me.
That was so sad.
Yeah,
so sad.
It was. But that she wasn't like a mainstream person like that, obviously. But yeah, I just fear Ariana's gonna reach that level where it's like.
Well, yeah. Picture this. Picture us watching the Oscars or the Grammys, and then they do the like black and white. Everyone who died this year, and Ariana.
Please. I can't. She's gonna get an Oscar for one of the Wickeds. If not next year, then the other one.
You think so?
Well, they kind of have to give it to her.
Yeah, I guess it depends. Well, what that would be in comedy musical category.
Not a comedy.
Well, but it's like that's together, isn't it, with the Oscars?
Yeah, and also I don't know if Wicked is eligible to win Tonys too. She could win a Tony for this.
I think you have to do it on stage to win.
She's gonna go on stage at some point just to win the Tony, just to have EGOT.
Yeah,
because she already has a Grammy. Mm-hmm. She might win another one for Eternal Sunshine. We're witnessing her story.
Well, what would be her Emmy?
My point. Her Emmy?
Yeah.
That I don't know. That's gonna be the hardest, I think, to get.
Yeah.
Ariana Grande winning an Emmy would be hilarious.
Yeah, because it feels like she would be stooping if she was like doing any kind of television.
She should have won it for Scream Queens, but that's neither here nor there.
Or what was that Disney show she was on or whatever?
Victorious. Yeah. She should have won it for Victorious back in the day.
Yeah.
Just already like
Did
had
she
that
win
all
a Teen Choice Award?
Not even.
Do you know
EGOT Choice Award status?
Yeah. You know those things are like kaleidoscopes, the Nickelodeon blimp. I broke Drake Bell's on accident.
He just came forward and said he was sexually abused by somebody like in the makeup department of one of his shows. And then he was like, let me do it too. He said, yeah, you're right. Let me try sexually abusing people.
He learned from the best. Mm-hmm. So that's, I mean, no, I think you're right. I think Ariana will be a legend. I mean, she's already doing stuff that nobody, like we talked about this before, but like breaking Beatles records and like.
It's just because to fill the void while she's been gone, I've been stooping myself and listening to Sabrina Carpenter and like some Olivia Rodrigo.
I love both of those bitches.
Listen, I went to 2 different Sabrina Carpenter meet and greets. I can speak on it.
Yes.
Okay. I literally have several photos with her. I was a stan back in the day. After Girl Meets World, she kind of had Ariana's could have had Ariana's career trajectory. And she's opening for Taylor Swift, like, good for her, blah, blah, blah. But she has many, many skips. I don't listen to her albums in their entirety. I listen to, like, the main hits, and that's it now. But Ariana it's just so refreshing to have, like, a really good concept album that is top to bottom, like, not like anything anyone's released.
I'm curious to see what the videos are going to look like for Ariana. But I have a question for you about music in general. It feels like things are, like, to me, like polarizing, where there are fewer and fewer like megastar artists, and like, so you have like the top tier of like fame, I guess, or like streaming numbers, and that's like Ariana, Taylor, Beyonce, The Weeknd, like these people that are just crushing it. And then you have all these other artists down here that aren't doing crazy numbers, that are like super in and talented. A lot of them are like TikTok viral. Men I Trust. Ice Spice
she's coming.
She's in her own category.
Yeah.
But I think it's like it's only gonna go more to that extreme, where there's gonna be like the 10 mega stars, and then there's gonna start to be, I feel like, hundreds, if not thousands, of like
a middle class of singers.
Yeah, where it's like you're getting more like customized to your exact taste. There's just so much more variety. Like, I go on Spotify, and like these playlists that they're making for me have these artists that are like less than 50,000 monthly listeners, and it's like I'm part of a small fan base for them, but they're able to make their living. It just feels like it's going to keep moving further and further in that direction, where like these megastars are making all the money, and then there's this huge middle class of artists where you can get whatever you want out of it. You can listen to like literally any genre, down to like the most minute.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is that this Ariana album is for the arts, not the charts, first of all. Like, yeah, it's number one, blah, 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 but like...
It's number one after a day, but if
she cared about the charts, she would have released more singles and promoted more and stuff, but she didn't. And the thing is, Taylor does do that. And if you compare Ariana and Taylor, like, Taylor's magnitude and like audience she can draw is honestly a lot larger.
Yes.
But it's just not for me.
Same. And that's what it is hard to be objective about it, because you'll sit here and say like there are many skips on Sabrina, no skips on Ariana, and then we'll talk to a Taylor fan who's like there are no skips ever in Taylor's entire career, and I'm like that's where I disagree.
Very, very untrue.
Yeah. But there are people who feel that way. I mean, there's this bitch crying in front of the fucking outside of the venue crying.
Yeah, I mean, that's gonna be me on the Eternal Sunshine tour, I won't lie.
When you don't get in.
Yeah, but I hope For the Arts and Not the Charts makes a comeback, because breaking records is all that Stan Twitter ever cares about, and they will compare charts between Taylor and anyone else, and I'm like, this is just so unfair, because Taylor releases hella remixes and hella versions of the same song over and over again.
Well, and she also like has whatever kind of like witchcraft or whatever. She has this
drinking adrenochrome and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, but I hope you're right. I hope there is like a bigger middle class, because like I guess you could say I stan Ecstasy or Suicide Idol that made the song Ecstasy, but they're literally like just a random, like they're not for the charts at all.
Well, I know, and that's the thing is like these songs.
But I'm obsessed.
It's kind of like a step back to the way it used to be, where the song was all that mattered. And you didn't, like, and people would get record deals off of a song, and that's what it feels like TikTok is doing again. Is like the song will go viral, like Ecstasy being, mind you, it being like the slowed version of the, like, that's not, they wrote a song then just happened to release this slowed version, or maybe a fan did that, and that's the version that just fucking took over. I literally got like and there's an even more slowed version. That was like right in the sweet spot of slowed. There was a rave that happened, and they were Suicide Idol. Suicide Idol. They were performing there, and it said they're performing their smash hit Ecstasy slowed version. And I was like, this is so weird. Go there and like sing extra slow. Yeah, like what? That's so crazy. But like that's what the people wanted. Yeah. Mind you, there's a line in the song that says, "Please just R-word me." Oh, and that. And I'm also kind of please retarded me. And I'm like, what are the rules now? Because I didn't think a TikTok audience would fuck with something like that.
But they are, and so I'm like,
it's for the. I mean, it's
like imagine if Ariana said that. If Ariana in a song is like, please just like that would be literally insane. But they do it, and it's people are eating it up.
Yeah.
And they're being like, we're performing our smash hit. Please just load version at this
well,
rave in LA.
It's not this. I mean, Nirvana actually had a song that would play on the radio called.
It's so I'm like, okay, are we circling back around to like singing about?
The real question is, am I bleeping every time we use that word in this episode?
Nah.
Probably, but I'll leave the R word part so that people will know what we're saying.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are for music anymore.
Well, I like a step towards the direction of there not being rules. Like
exactly.
The audience gets to decide what they like, and I think that's just a really good.
Because even like Pink Panthers is on the rise too, and she kind of has music that I didn't think would be huge, but she's like all over Stan Twitter.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, no, she is. Her music is very much like me as a person. If I were music, that's I feel like what I would sound like is a Pink Panthers album.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's really cool, and looking forward to see what's next.
Yeah, when does Taylor's album come out?
April 29th or something like that.
Because I'm
April 24th.
I'm willing to be open-minded.
Oh, I'm gonna stream it.
Yeah,
for sure.
What is it called?
The Tortured Poets Department.
Poets Society.
The Tortured Retards Department.
What the hell? Yes, April 19th.
April
so
19th.
we have just over a month.
Oh shit, that's literally next month.
Yeah. I just don't. I mean,
I'm not gonna get into the. I can't with Taylor Swift. Like I really can't.
With what?
The democratization of pop music and I just can't.
It's
the
not,
grip she has on people.
It's not a democracy at all. It's literally a dictatorship. Like she
literally.
commands an army of fans, and
it is bizarre.
It's I mean, I don't know. The reason it's unlike anything that's ever existed before is because there was previously a mania surrounding like Elvis, the Beatles, Michael Jackson, even as recently as like One Direction, like Justin Bieber, like a mania, like a very
which
heightened.
I like that Taylor Swift is a thing because like we need people to be absolutely manic and have parasocial relationships with celebrities just for the culture. But then you look at Coachella, which is the biggest music festival at one of them, and Hatsune Miku is one of the people who's not even fucking real.
Not a real thing.
It's not even a real person, and she's performing at Coachella. Like,
well, and maybe that's like the natural progression of this is like to have like what I'm describing this like absolute kind of like polar opposite thing happening. Maybe what happens is we get our bespoke songs and artists that are making music on a small level for small audiences of people that just really relate to their music, and then like Taylor Swift and that kind of thing gets so much more and more and more famous until it's literally just like an avatar, an actual idol that we're like worshiping, that has such a machine behind it that it's literally being created for mass appeal. Because mind you, Taylor Swift's like biggest songs, like money wise, are the ones she did with Max Martin as well.
Right, yeah. You know who I really look forward to turning out a good album this year is Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
Because she's in her bag right now. Like she has found her sound and her look and everything.
Also, when does Katy release?
True, Katy Perry is releasing and she's working with Danielle Horo, which is another like come up from somebody like Hannah Diamond, who and like Danielle Horo type music. Like it's really interesting to see that kind of music start to turn into very mainstream pop music, because like I would consider Ice Spice's music not even that real. Like I think it's kind of a joke, but she's literally up on stage with Taylor Swift.
Well, no, and that's the thing is it's like that Ice Spice feels like a Hatsune Miku type kind of avatar representing, like anyone could perform those songs and it could literally be like a hologram doing it and it would have the same reaction and response.
It's just crazy that you could release a song like "You Think You the Shit, Bitch, You Not Even the Fart," and Taylor Swift will invite you to sing that on stage with her. Like anything goes now, and I think that's exciting.
Yes.
So I hope people will start to have more fun and make like stupid shit, because that I think that was the whole point of hyperpop and like what Charlie is doing and stuff. Like it was like PC music was to parody pop music, and now it's turned into actually being pop music because people are
and that's
unironically streaming it.
Yeah,
and liking
people are enjoying it. I don't think
Charlie's gonna have a really good album too. She has a new album coming out.
I don't think Katy Perry's gonna engage in that at all. I think it's gonna be like an earnest, like hopefully old.
Katy seems like she don't know what the fuck's going on.
She just I mean, she's just like an old school.
She's at the whim of like new artists, but she doesn't understand why.
Yeah.
It's still, I feel like it'll be good, but she's like, Danielle Harl, who are you?
Yeah.
Like, she's like, the people like this.
She's just doing what she has to. And she's also working with Luke on it too.
Okay. I hope they don't drag her for that.
I mean, they will, but she can steamroll that. You know what I mean? She can beat that because.
Yeah.
I mean.
If Kim Petras can do it, Katy Perry can.
And also, Teenage Dream is, I think, in my opinion, the best pop song that's ever been written.
The song?
Yeah.
The album is literally insane.
The album's insane. The song is like maybe it's like the archetype for how to write a pop song. It's just perfect. Content, like the lyrical content, the concept, the sonics, the melody. It's just unbeatable. And that was her and Luke just doing their thing, you know?
Yeah. I guess I should have remembered that Ariana just kind of like does whatever she wants, because that like because she pioneered like in 2018 just like releasing a second album out of nowhere, and now people do that. Kim did it, and just like releasing music whenever you feel like it. So I guess I hope people take notes. I
don't think she pioneered that because that's was happening way before.
Dropping a second album the same year you released one, and it being as big as the other album.
I mean,
Beatles records?
that happens in hip hop a lot, like going back.
Oh, I don't listen to hip hop. That's the team.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. And that, I mean, that's the other thing is.
Well, that's what I mean, like pioneering in pop music, like mainstream pop girls, just because normally, like, I feel like it's formulaic where like pop stars have to do albums a certain way.
It's a cycle. It's like a built-in cycle that has.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're right, because I do remember now Ariana saying like, I wanted to do like hip hop artists do and release music whenever you feel like it.
Yeah.
But with pop, like people don't do that. But then she did it, and it still was a massive success.
Well, yeah, because you feel like, you know, the labels all feel like you're detracting from the first album when you release a second one, surprise, because then people are going to start listening to the new one.
Yeah.
Like, I do feel like Kim kind of did that with Slut Pop, like detracted from Feed the Beast, which already was kind of, I feel like, kind of losing steam.
Yeah. So can't wait for her
she's
next
number one on Dance with that David Archuleta song.
Okay,
David Guetta, not
David Guetta. Yeah. I saw Shailene Woodley walk by me the other day.
Oh, did you see her or smell her? She looks like she
walked. She looked mad as hell. She went to the ice cream shop down like
on Franklin.
Yeah, she used to work at. No, Shailene Woodley went.
I used to work at an ice cream store on Franklin.
Yeah, I saw her go into the ice cream shop, leave looking really mad.
Did she have?
She
ice
had
cream?
the bag. So looked like she got hella ice cream, and then she walked back into the ice cream shop, and then left with the same bag, but was huffing and puffing.
Oh my gosh.
So, and I just wanted to say hello, especially the second time she walked by, but it was really crazy seeing her in person. I didn't want to bother her.
Thoughts and prayers to her. It sounds like she's
going
through.
Prayers to her ice cream, yeah. But that's the latest celeb sighting that I've had.
I can't remember which one I've seen most recently. Although I did you see that update from Amanda Bynes where she's trying to take her cosmetology test?
No, but good for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like she would kind of chew as a cosmetologist.
Yeah, like low-key, maybe that's what she should have been doing this whole time.
That was her calling, like her career calling.
She just like accidentally was a child star, but should have been a cosmetologist this whole time.
It's funny, like, because there are some pop stars that I'm like, you couldn't be anything else. Like you have zero skills outside of this.
Well, what would Taylor do?
Right.
Like, just be the most plain.
She said she'd be an English teacher. I think in an interview that's what she'd be doing. And I was like,
I guess she could do that. I mean,
the tortured poets department creator wants to be an English teacher. Right. I would rate her 0 out of 10 on like ratemyprofessor.com.
Yeah.
This bitch talking about the tortured poets department.
See, and then Ariana's the opposite of that, where it's like, if she didn't even want to do music in the first place, she would just be like,
right,
like a musical theater person.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, she could very easily not do pop music and still have like a pretty impactful career as like an actress or a...
Imagine these pop stars being like blue collar workers. Like they're
Imagine Lana Del Rey like working at a Waffle House, for example.
She's one who like there are there's many things that she would be doing.
She could be a fucking gas station attendant.
They don't even ask her like, what would you do if you were making music? Like she just does it.
Yeah, she's just doing it anyways.
Just like spotted working at IHOP.
She's just whipping up some scrambled eggs.
And I would give her 5 out of 5 on Yelp.
Yeah. And she would deserve it. Well, is there anything else worth mentioning?
Did anything happen at the restaurant? Did you have any stories? I was serving someone the other day and they had asked for their burger plain and I brought it fully, like everything on it. And he said, I want this plain. I went, oh shit. And just took it back and walked away and came back with a different one.
And I bet they were happy after.
And they tipped 50%.
Some people
when you're real as fuck,
some people want to be embarrassed and humiliated and shamed, and that's like their kink. And
it's kind of my strategy. I can sense when someone has an embarrassment kink, and I'll be like, "Oh, you're sending your food back."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna give you money now."
Last night I had a pretty silly, like an argument took place between a couple where like one of them was gonna drive them home and the other one was like, you're way too drunk to drive.
That's what happened to me.
But the reality is they were both so shit-faced. And I can't believe like they had driven to the bar and I was just, that was worrisome. And the funny thing was like, I guess I can just describe, there's a short guy and a tall guy.
Okay.
Then they're in a relationship.
We were talking about a gay couple?
Yeah.
Ew, I didn't know that.
And
where's the girl?
There was none.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. And the short one was like, I don't want you fucking driving. You're shit-faced. It's dangerous. You're putting my life in danger. All very good points.
Strict as hell.
And then the taller one was just like, okay, I won't drive then. And like it should have been solved, but then the shorter one was so drunk that he kept like forgetting that part and bringing it back up and
wait
and just like getting so worked up, and we had to kick him out.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened to me the other day when we were drinking with Billy Zane.
Oh yeah, that's the last celebrity.
Me and Billy Zane were like, "You're not driving. No, you're not driving."
Wait, what?
No, I'm just kidding. I made that up. I introduced myself to Billy Zane. For those who don't know, he was in Titanic. He was the angry husband that Rose was being like forced to marry. And I shook his hand and I said, "Big fan." And he was like, "Oh, thank you so much." But
mind you, I bowl with Billy on Mondays.
Bowling with Billy. By the end of the night, I had 2 glasses of wine and 2 tequila shots over the course of 3 hours. And for some reason, that just really did me in.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to drive Oomph back to his car. And when we stepped outside when the bar closed, he was getting into an Uber and didn't tell me. Kind of left me for dead.
Shady. Yeah. Like, didn't even be like, hey, did you want to get in this Uber? He was just like, have fun dying.
No offer for like an Uber for me. No offer to get in. No offer for anything. And we said another night in the books, and then we lost our friend, and we were talking in Twitter speak while we legitimately didn't know
if our friend was
we were like, boots the house down. The real tea is, where's Abby? And we genuinely didn't know where she was.
But she's all right.
She was and is.
All right. Well, I think that recaps everything. And stream Eternal Sunshine out now.
And if you don't, I will do it for you.
You are going to do it anyways.
Right.
You guys can't hear this, but every device in this house right now
is
is
streaming on a low volume just to get the numbers going.
Yeah. Because she needs us.
Right.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening. You can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify.
So true.
And we love y'all, and we'll talk to y'all next week. Bye. Bye.